everyone. We are filling in for Mr. Marcus, the Alphabets, and I want to introduce you guys to uh, my chosen ones, so to speak. We have Dennis, the Ignorant Thinkers podcast, Dennis Holmes, and we have Andre, the Torch Robinson, and we're going to try and do our best to fill in for Mr. Betts while he's out of town. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
How you doing?
I'm phenomenal. You know how I feel. That music was nice though, Ramona. Get your little swag on. You know what I mean? I was feeling that music.
I like the video too. The video was all that.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. I am going to actually try and share some of this show.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. We will be.
Yeah, I shared it.
Okay, good. Like and share the show, guys. I appreciate that very much. And I shared it to the Rise Up Sports Network page. So, share the links to the show. Well, I'm trying to find it still myself. So, there it is.
Pretty good.
How you doing? Okay, so we're all ready. And, we always start the show with our news and notes, and so I'm gonna get that ready, and we'll start from there. Okay, there we are, and we've got just a few little odds and ends news and notes for everybody. So I will go ahead and get this started. We got the NFL power rankings. What do you guys think about the power rankings?
I like them. I think that they're on point. I don't think Seattle need to be that high, but I like them. I don't think they're on point. They're on point.
What do you think, Jay?
For right now, to be very honest with you, I can't disagree with the first. I can't disagree with the first 5 or 6. I honestly, you heard Colin Cowherd say that Buffalo Bills was the best team in the NFL right now for a bunch of different reasons. Obviously, fourth quarter scoring, what they've done as far as red zone efficiency, things of that nature. The Buffalo Bills have a lot of positive mentions when it comes down to things that they've done this season.
You're talking about Colin Cowherd, who said that.
Thank you.
The Baltimore Ravens were going to be 16-0.
Hold on, time out. First and foremost, if anybody thanks anybody, I said that Colin Cowherd said that. I didn't say that I agree with that. So let's be clear on that. I said that that's what was being said during the week. So to be very honest with you, again, I agree with the list. I don't think Buffalo is number 1. I mean, they're 10-3. They could be 11-2. They could be up there. They could be number 2. They could be over the Packers. But then we'd be playing the ifs and buts was candy and nuts game. So I agree. I agree with the list, top 6. I don't think Seattle should be there. I think the Colts probably should be over Seattle right now. Maybe even the Tennessee Titans too. I put Seattle. I think they're a pretender this year, so I put them at like number 9.
Well, and Baltimore is actually coming back alive. They're getting healthier again. Pretty much a fabulous game they were in Monday night. But I still say that game there was no defense. And to me, when you have no defense, these games are not going to go well. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and move down to the Chiefs. Have 5 straight division titles, and they have clinched the AFC West title again. So,
typical Andy Reid. That's why he's up there with the top coaches. Knows how to win his division. Knows how to dominate. Typical Andy Reid. That's just what he does. He goes out, he wins his division and owns it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So can I speak on that real quick? I want to speak on the fact that Kansas City has been winning the division ever since Peyton Manning left. Anybody notice Peyton Manning's gone? Peyton Manning's gone. They start winning the division 5 years in a row. They've been doing their thing. Denver ain't been able to catch up since he left. Secondly, as far as Andy Reid is concerned, yeah, I mean, I would be winning divisions too if Dallas was coughing them up every year at the last game of the season. So I'd be winning divisions too, especially when the Cowboys done coughed it up so many times.
Back in those days, okay.
Okay, so we're going to move right along.
Nothing against Andy Reid. I like him a lot. I think he's the top 3 coach, probably out of everybody that's coaching right now. So
yeah. All right. So there's mounting chatter that Carson Wentz will no longer be an Eagles after this year, and there's a lot of talk that he will be with the Indianapolis Colts. What do you guys? What's your ideas on this?
I'm gonna let Dre go first. I'm like, go ahead, Dre. I'm gonna let you go first on that one.
All right. To be very honest, thank you. To be very honest with you, the Colts, I've heard 4 destinations. I've heard the Colts, I've heard the Patriots, I've heard the Denver Broncos, and I've heard the 49ers. I've heard those 4 destinations. Which destination would probably be best for him? I'm going to be honest with you. Frank Wright is a phenomenal coach, up and coming phenomenal coach. Obviously, Buffalo Bills bred and all that. Denver, I don't know about Denver. I mean, they do have weapons over there in Denver. Obviously, Corey Sutton's gone this year. The 49ers have a hell of a running game, but is Deebo Samuel a number 1? Can Carson Wentz get up with that? I mean, kind of been getting up with Walmart receivers in Philly besides Alshon Jeffries. So I mean, any one of them could be pretty good. I mean, Bill Belichick, obviously, we know the Patriots, the best coach probably of all time, cheating or not. I can see him going with the Colts. I can see the Colts being his best bet.
Well, I think a lot depends on how the Colts finish this year. Right now, Philip Rivers is not doing a bad job. I mean, he's really not. So I think, go ahead.
That was my other question. I'm glad that you just mentioned that. Thank you. See, tag team, love it. Would you say that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Philip Rivers right now?
Yeah.
Gotta ask that question. Would you say Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Philip Rivers right now?
No.
Yes.
And then see, I don't think so.
Yes.
Either.
I don't think he is right now. I think that you have to give it to Philip Rivers and what he's been doing with Indianapolis. But to say overall, what would Carson Wentz be able to bring to the Indianapolis Colts? Well, I mean, that question's not going to be answered unless he goes there. And then at that point, maybe then we'll figure it out. So, all right. So moving along.
Well, wait. Let me. My fault. Let me give my full thing on Carson Wentz.
Okay.
A lot of people have been saying this in Philadelphia that Carson Wentz hasn't played good since Frank Wright left. Frank Wright was the piece that kept Carson Wentz going. I've been hearing a lot of that chatter. So the thing that I'm sitting here saying about it is, if he was the best with that guy and that was his MVP season, then maybe he should go back with him. They had a special connection that was further than coach and player. They actually was good friends, and they were on a more I want to say, they were real good Christians too. They were real tight on a spiritual level. So those are some of the reasons I think he needs to go back with that coach. Maybe he'll bring the fun back in football to that guy.
All right, so I do have some late breaking news.
Okay.
Hollywood Brown has COVID.
Actually, there's three wide receivers on.
So does Boykin.
Yeah.
So that is going to make you wonder what's going to happen with Cleveland Browns as far as that goes. They just played on Monday night. So, that leaves a lot of unanswered questions on who else could be possible. Because, I mean, they do the contract tracing with the COVID. And then they, tell people to quarantine if you've been around anybody that's got COVID, da-da-da. So what's going to happen? I mean, is this another Baltimore Ravens down with COVID? Because these players have been around each other inside that locker room.
Right.
I see a lot of them, have their masks. Well, I guess all of them have their masks and stuff on the sidelines, but we know that they don't wear those masks 24/7 around each other. We know that.
Right. We know. There's a lot of people that just don't think that they're gonna catch COVID and all that. Then they get it and they surprised. We know how that go. What I was wanting to say, the difference between Carson Wentz and Phillip Rivers. What I was saying was Carson Wentz was playing with a lot of, as Dre would say, Walmart receivers, Walmart offensive linemen, trying to push and plug things together, and it wasn't really working out this season for him. Plus, he didn't look too well either. It was a whole lot that was going on. Now you put him over there with the Colts, who has a good offensive line, a three-headed run game at the running back. They got a tight end over there that he's familiar with, and they've got an okay wide receiving core that he can work with. I actually see this working out pretty good over there, him going to the Colts, and they have the cap room to get him. Plus, they don't have a problem taking on a quarterback that has thrown 20 interceptions the year before they got to him.
Right.
So, with all that being said, Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts may be the best bet for Frank Reich.
All right, Marcus Bet says, kind of like how Bills might start winning division now that Brady left. We was talking about the Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, when Dre said the Peyton Manning, Kansas City start to Peyton Manning left. Oh yeah.
Dalton Smith says Elway would ruin Wentz's career if Wentz goes to the Broncos. He also said if Bills don't have O-line, Wentz would absolutely get destroyed. Marcus says the Indy run game is nice with Jonathan Taylor. It would take a lot of pressure off of him. Dalton Smith says Rivers is old. I could see him retired after the season. Wentz would be a better fit with the Colts. The only thing is like I said, depends on where the Colts in the season. I mean, the way they're playing and stuff, you never know. I've seen some 16 teams go into the playoffs and actually win a Super Bowl.
Ramona, that's my biggest situation as far as Carson Wentz going to the Colts. Will Phillip Rivers get re-signed or will he retire? First and foremost, you would have to know that, because I can tell you if he makes a nice playoff push, I could see the Colts wanting him back. And then the competitor that he is, Phillip Rivers, he may not want to be done. So I mean, you're battling with that. I mean, I heard everything as far as the run game, the tight ends, and a good wide receiver core. That's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, it's an organizational move. Are the Eagles ready to move him now? Because if they're ready to move him now, and Phillip Rivers ain't ready to leave, and the coach not ready to depart from him, then where's Carson Wentz going?
Yeah,
that's my only question.
Marcus says Patriots will have the second most salary cap space next year. Willem Mumbart says, "Oh shit, call it down the middle, y'all." Tito says, "I almost forgot what it do, folks."
What's up, everybody?
Good to see you. A haircut or a pay cut, Marcus bets. I'm thinking he meant a pay cut to go to the Colts, but I don't know. I think the Colts have plenty of salary cap space right now, so I don't know if you have to take a pay cut or not. Okay, we're gonna move on down. We're going to our Monday night review. The Baltimore Ravens ditch effort beating the Cleveland Browns in what everybody is saying, one of the most entertaining games of the season so far. 47-42 over the Browns in Cleveland. So just so you know, I have always cheered for the Buffalo Bills if they're not playing my Steelers. And I've always cheered for the Cleveland Browns when they're not playing my Steelers. Just so y'all know this. I can remember the Steelers and the Browns of the 70s and the 80s. My cousins are all Cleveland Browns fans. Okay, I was born just right outside of Cleveland, Ohio, but thank God my family moved to Virginia right after I was born, and I became a Steeler fan. So, but I know how heartbreaking of a loss this was for Cleveland. I mean, but to me, this was granted, it was an exciting game to watch, but it was kind of disappointing because there was really no defense. I just didn't see much defense in this game at all. But that's just my opinion on it. So what do you got on this one, Dennis?
In my eyes, I said this was one of the greatest games I've seen in a long time. I know you were saying there was no defense, but this was one of the greatest games I've seen in a long time. The whole buildup around it. You got two Heisman winning quarterbacks. Both of them can't win a big game in the NFL. At least that's what everybody say. Both of them needed this win to try to take over the division at some point because they think that the Steelers are going to, fold. Baltimore needed it more than anything just to get into the playoffs. Cleveland needed this win because they haven't beaten anybody in the division big besides the Cincinnati Bengals. So this game came down to the wire. As Marcus Betts said, Lamar Jackson pulled a Willis Reed. It was a heartbreaking loss for Cleveland, but at the same time, Cleveland has got to learn how to win these big games. I mean, the next one they got is against the Steelers, and they have to learn how to win these big games. They put a good effort out there. I know neither one of their corners was out there, as Jared told me, but they got to learn how to win these big games.
Yeah, my Steelers need to learn how to do that too. So, if my receivers would learn to hold on to the ball, that would help a lot.
That'd help out a lot.
Yeah. All right. What do you got on this one, Andre?
Soldier Boy said it best. Shootout. Hey, shootout. Hey. I love it. I love action-packed games. I love going up and down the field, watching teams move the ball. Love movement. For the Browns, it was important for the Browns to win this game, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you look at the all-time season series, the Ravens have dominated this series. It's 33-11 now, and this is supposed to be a rivalry. It's almost to the point where this ain't a rivalry. This is just the Ravens beating up on the real Cleveland Browns, beating up on the newly made Cleveland Browns. First and foremost, then again, when it comes down to the Ravens, they needed that game so they can jump the Miami Dolphins. Right now, they're in the last position for the playoff seed, number 7 seed. They needed that scrutiny coming to Lamar Jackson, especially. I know guys will say, well, he don't have weapons, and we'll do he don't have this, and he don't have that. But when you're a guy like Lamar Jackson, Heisman Trophy winner, a whole lot of hype coming out of college into the NFL, you won the NFL MVP, to go one and done 2 years in a row, and then for a third season may not make the playoffs. I could see a lot of scrutiny coming to Lamar Jackson's way, especially when you're the captain of the team. And we all know that the quarterback is the captain of the team. So with that being said, Lamar had to win that game. On the other side, for Baker, I mean, this is a game that he had to have, man. You got to win it. Like Dennis said, I'll piggyback off that a little bit. You got to win the big games. Cleveland needed this for the city. Just like when LeBron James won the championship, Cleveland needed that. Cleveland needed it for the city. Now it's Cleveland Browns' turn to give something back to the city. And they blew it. They blew their chance during this game.
You do realize there's no rivalry between Cleveland and Baltimore because Baltimore has pretty much owned Cleveland every time they play them.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. It's almost like it's not even a rivalry because Baltimore's won 33 out of the 44 meets. I wouldn't call that a rivalry.
Right, exactly. So, okay, we're going to move on to the next game.
But you want
our next
game.
game.
Ramona, by the way, I got that answer for you.
What's that?
The The Colts have $57 million in cap space next season.
That's a lot of moolah.
More than enough to take Carson Wentz.
A lot of moolah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next game. The Thursday night game was the Chargers and the Raiders. I didn't get to watch the game, not gonna lie, but I did pick the Raiders to win this game. And I think my co-host actually had taken the Chargers to win this game. So what did you guys have on this game?
This was actually a pretty good game. When Derek Carr went out, Marcus Mariota came in, and we didn't know what we was going to get out of Marcus Mariota, but he actually came in and almost won the game. The Chargers gave the game up to the Raiders a couple times, but the big thing that I took out of all of this, even though the Raiders lost, the biggest thing I took out of all of this was John Gruden. And one of the things I know about John Gruden is he can't win in December. He has a problem winning in December. Last year they were supposed to win in December. They ended up losing to the Jets, and they lost another game that they needed to win just to get into the playoffs. This year they lost. They had 5 games remaining, whereas though it was the Falcons, the Colts, the Chargers, Miami, and there's another team. And I think the hardest team in that 5 was the Colts, but they ended up getting blown out by the Falcons a couple weeks back. So I look at all that, and it's like John Gruden can't finish seasons. And it's starting to look bad because you guaranteed him $100 million for 10 years, and I think he's in his 3rd or 4th year, and he ain't getting the job done. And he wasn't getting the job done back when he was in Tampa. That was one of the reasons they let him go in Tampa. I had this conversation with Buck Flair. Me and him was talking about, what was some of the reasons that John Gruden was let go in Tampa. He was like, he couldn't win in December. So I'm just going to sit here and say, I really look at John Gruden. They fired the defensive coordinator and brought Rob Marinelli back, but I'm really looking at John Gruden to see where is it that you're going to take the next level as a coach and win these games that you need to win to get to the postseason. That's what I'm looking
at. Andre, what you got?
In the words of Dalton Smith, pathetic. Pathetic. Blew it again. I mean, is this the Raiders' way now? Is this the Raiders' way? We get close to the end of the season. We can't win in December. We can't get the job done. We can't. Derek Carr going down again in crucial times. When the playoffs is on the line, and then you lose to the Chargers and Justin Herbert, which I just put him back in the conversation again, all over again. This game right here put Justin Herbert right back in the conversation for offensive rookie of the year or offensive rookie of the year or offensive best quarterback, offensive rookie quarterback of the year. Like, the Raiders got to make it make sense for them. They got to make it make sense for them. They did pay John Gruden $100 million. They got rid of Khalil Mack because he was getting paid more than Gruden. And Gruden got rid of the guy. And then Rob Marinelli and all these guys that you got out here can't get the job done. I feel like it's definitely starting to become a cancer within the Raiders organization. Right. That they started but can't finish it. And let's be clear, almost doesn't count. Is only a hit when it's a Brandy song. That's it.
Well, my biggest, of course, Carr going out, it didn't help. But I really think that they lost a receiver earlier on this year, correct?
Yeah.
And so I think they need another big wide receiver. Yuri, they're not going to fire Gruden after just giving him a brand new big ass contract. That ain't happening. We know that ain't happening. They're not firing Gruden. Even if they don't make the playoffs, they're not going to fire Gruden. Yeah, exactly. They owe him way too much. The only way they could fire him was if they hired a private investigator to follow him around and catch him doing something indecent that would make the NFL look bad or the Raiders look bad. That's the only way they're going to fire him. So,
In too deep.
All right, so we're going to move to Saturday's first game. We have the Buffalo Bills and the the Denver Broncos in Denver at Mile High. And we all know Mile High is not always the easiest place to play football unless you're actually, from there. So,
right. I was unless you from Mile High.
So what do you think on this one? I'll go with you, Dennis. What's up? What do you
I think this game is going to be close. I think I picked 31-24. Buffalo wins the game. But I actually do see it being close.
Okay. Andre, what you got on this game?
You can lock it in that the Buffalo Bills will lock up the AFC East division this week against the Denver Broncos. Lock it in. All right. First and foremost, I get that the Denver Broncos offense is getting better as the season progresses, but Josh Allen gets to go play in Mile High and perform again on Saturday, another special game day Saturday, and this one is for the marbles right here. This one breaks the chains. This one breaks the curse. This one breaks the Patriots' hold on the AFC East. It is a done deal. Josh Allen and them will go in Denver, and they will come out of Denver with a W, the AFC East crown, and potentially, well, I won't say the number 2 seed yet. You may not like that. I will say that they will win this game 31-20, and congratulate them now. Give it to them.
Well, I think that Buffalo definitely wins this game. This could be one of those games. It could be like a upset of the week. Coming off of that win against Pittsburgh. Think about it. Coming off that win with Pittsburgh, soundly beating us. You never know. Now, if this was the Indianapolis Colts, I would definitely say this could be an upset of the week. You never know. Those upsets just tend to hit whenever you're least expecting them. So, and Denver's had some really decent games throughout the year. So, and I think they're pretty healthy right now. So, you just never know. You never know. So, but I still think Buffalo wins. I got them winning like 30.
What'd you say?
31-18, something like that. 31-18. And I think I may be giving Denver more points than what they actually score. So, that being said, all right, so we're going to go to our second game on Saturday. Actually, I'm going to read some of these comments. We have Dalton saying Bills 30-14. Yuri says 27-10 Bills. Robert Luger says we will fart rainbows on Saturday. Ronald Enix, hey Ron, good to see you. He's got Bills 32-20. Market says trap game, don't fall for the cheese, in the words of Bill Parcells. And like I said, and I didn't see that comment when I made my comment. I just said you never know. I have seen teams come off of a big win on a team that, regardless of whether they want to admit it, fans were nervous about that game with the Steelers. Even though the Steelers had not been playing up to par, they were definitely worried about beating Pittsburgh Steelers. No, they weren't any.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They weren't any of them out there just assuredly known that they were going to just whomp the Steelers. And they didn't just whomp the Steelers, but still, I was worried all the way up until, probably the third quarter. And then by that point, I was just kind of, because I'm and, God bless Ben. He's taking all this blame on his shoulders completely. And And I'm sorry if one of my receivers are not catching my ball that I'm throwing to them and hitting them in the hands and hitting them in the numbers, I'm upset with this. I'm upset. So, but he's handled it like a trooper. You know, he's not throwing anybody under the bus but himself. So, all right. So our next game. And Marcus says this is a playoff type game for Denver, which is quite true too. So, all right. So our next game for Saturday is Carolina Panthers at the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, Matt Rule and the boys coming in there, Temple tough. I don't think it's enough though. I don't think it's enough to beat Green Bay.
No Christian McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they really ain't had him all season. They've been playing tough though, but they really ain't had him all season. This was another close game I had here too. I think I had this game 35-28. I had another close game here. I see the bull Mike Brown running wild on Green Bay.
Is it Mike Brown?
I think it's Mike Brown. Or was it Matt Brown?
Or Don?
I thought it was Mike Brown.
I can't remember. Yuri says John Brown. He's asking if John Brown is back for this one. I don't know.
No, I don't think John Brown is
still on IR.
What?
John Brown is still on IR.
Okay. All right. So Andre, what you got on this one?
So you never can take any team for granted whatsoever. And I get it. The Panthers get CMC back. But it's a go pack go day. They are the number 2, they are the number 1 seed, and they look to keep the number 1 seed. Motivation. We've also heard every week that the Packers can't stop the run. Well, this week, they will make sure that they take their time out to stop the run this week, in which Jerry Alexander is one of the best corners in the league. On an island, he's locking down the best wide receiver on that Panthers team. This is a maybe close game, but it ain't that close. I think it's 30-17, and put another W up for the Green Bay Packers.
I could see Rodgers and company 40, like in the 40s. I think it's going to be like 40-24.
It could happen.
And I don't even think the Panthers score 24. I think it's going to be more like 41-18. I'll go 41-18. So, all right. So moving right along, we have our first Sunday game. We have the Chicago Bears visiting the Minnesota Vikings. And I will start with you, Andre. What you got on this one?
Well, you know the Vikings and the Bears are supposedly still fighting for a playoff spot. I do not believe that the Bears are making the playoffs. Dalvin Cook, phenomenal runner. Chicago Bears, probably a top 3 defense in the league for as long as they stay on the field for it. Mitchell played pretty good last week. So now my question is, do I trust Mitch? Do I trust the Mitch more than Kurt? Do you like that? I don't. I'm going to say Minnesota wins this game by a field goal.
I think I picked Minnesota to win this game the first time. On the Buck Flair show, but I can actually see Chicago winning this game. This game is coming down to a final drive for real, and it's either going to be Mitchell Trubisky or Kirk Cousins, but somebody's going to have to make a play. Now I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to take my chances with Minnesota. I'm just going to think that Kirk Cousins finally gets it done, does enough to get to the playoffs and beats the Chicago Bears. I'm gonna take my chance with Kirk Cousins. That's what I'm going to do.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think that Dalvin Cook is the key factor. Whether or not Chicago can contain Dalvin Cook. Well, you can't contain Dalvin Cook. You can slow him down, but you can't really contain Dalvin Cook. So I'm going to say 26-24 Minnesota, and I don't want to. Come on, Mitch. I still believe in you, honey. I do. I love Mitch. I just wish he had a little bit better protection and more time to throw the football down the field. I think they really need to give him a no-line and maybe even a key, a number one receiver. And I think Mitch would be just fine. But, Mitch took back over for Nick Folks sitting on the bench. So there's a reason for that. But anyway, and of course Marcus hates Mitch. Mitch is done, Marcus says. So, but I still got Minnesota winning this game. Like I said, 28-24, 26-24, somewhere around there. All right, so moving right along, we'll go to the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. So
Tampa Bay's supposed to win this game. They almost lost to Minnesota because Minnesota ain't have a good field goal kicker, but Tampa Bay's supposed to win this game. They could end up losing to Atlanta. This could be a bad game for them. I can see Bruce Arians cussing out everybody after this game, but I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I'm going to say Brady gets it done. I'm going to say that this game is going to be, I think I picked 28-24 Tampa Bay.
Okay. So, Andre, what do you have on this one?
This is an interesting game. I think the Atlanta Falcons probably are one of the best 4-9 teams in the league. Again, I mentioned it on Monday Night Madness. They score more points than the Cleveland Browns and have given up less points than the Cleveland Browns. Yet the Cleveland Browns are 9-4 and they're 4-9 for some reason. For that reason, though, they're going against Tom Brady, a team that claims, according to Bruce Arians, that they got an identity now. And they can do anything they want to do. For that reason, that the Falcons are the best 4-9 team, I'm taking the Tampa Bay Bucks.
You're taking
Shout
who?
out to Buck Twitter.
Oh, you are taking Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa.
Okay. I think they lost their identity when they brought AB in. I think they kind of lost their identity when they brought Antonio Brown to that team.
Wow.
And I still say that AB has been more of a hindrance than a help to that team. Although I did break the curse for Chuck, for Buck Flair, I broke the curse. I wore the Antonio Brown jersey last week just for him on last week's show. I think Tampa wins this game. I think they win it decisively. I think they win it like 30. I'm gonna say 34-16. 34-16 Tampa Bay. So, okay, moving on. We have the Jacksonville Jags and the Baltimore Ravens. And I have a few things to say about this game, but I will go last. So I'll let you go ahead and take off, Andre. You go with this one.
Baltimore, done. The end.
Yeah, Baltimore win this one big. They cover the point spread, win this one big. I can see Baltimore putting up 40 in this game.
Okay. Did we not see one thing about Baltimore not stopping the run? I'm just saying.
I agree. You're right. I agree. They ain't got enough horsepower though that they're gonna beat the Ravens.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that to have the running back that they have on this team, who is phenomenal, by the way, to have this kid on there who is just, I mean, racking up the numbers. He doesn't have the quarterback to help him. I don't even know that I blame all on the quarterback as much as I blame it on the receivers. So I'm definitely going with Baltimore. Although it would hurt my feelings to see them lose, drop one to Jacksonville at all. Just saying. and thank you, Baltimore, by the way, for beating Cleveland. Kind of appreciated that one too. So, but I'm going to take Baltimore. I think it's going to be like a 31-7. That's as much as I'm going to give them. 31-7, Baltimore. So, all right. So moving to the next game, we have the New England Patriots at Miami. And which one of you guys want to go first? Andre?
I'll go first on this one. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a must-win game for Miami. But the New England Patriots have some motivation, and that is to play spoiler. Because we know that the Ravens are this week against the Jags, it would be more motivation for the Patriots to come out and actually play to keep the Miami Dolphins from winning this game and putting Miami in a hole as it comes down to the last, I think it's the 7th seed or 6th or 7th seed in the playoffs. I could see New England trying to clap them cheeks this week against the Miami Dolphins. I am going to take, as much as I do not like Cam Newton, as much as I do not like what I see in New England, I'm going to take the New England Patriots in a close one to clap them cheeks this week.
All right, Dennis?
Well, you already know the motto. Cam. Whoa, Cam. I'm taking Cam Newton and New England Patriots. They win this game 21-17, New England.
Well, I am going total opposite of you guys. Because I am telling you right now, if the Dolphins can intercept Patrick Mahomes 3 times, they are going to intercept Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton has at least 2 interceptions in this game. I think Tua and company are going to beat this team like 28-13. I think Tua comes through in Miami, and I think they beat the New England Patriots. So
it is in Miami too, isn't it?
Yes, it is in Miami. So I'm gonna go back and read some comments.
Do I have the right to change my pick at any point before Sunday?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I'll let you know Saturday.
As long as you let me know before the game.
All right, got you.
I'll hear you before the game. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Yuri said DJ Moore and the receivers be ready because Jair Alexander is a problem. Dalton said Bears 28-16. Marcus Betts said Dalvin Cook goes off. Yuri Burroughs says Vikings win that game. Marcus says 28-21 Vikings. Marcus Betts says Mitch is done. Marcus Betts said, and the professional will be doing push-ups, LOL. E22 says, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Ethan, good to see you. Dalton says, I honestly don't care who wins, but I'm picking the Falcons 27-24. Marcus says, Tampa Bay wins. Maybe no Ronald Jones. Mike Evans, I need you, guy. Marcus says, Brady locks on to AB too much sometimes, and I absolutely agree. And don't get me wrong, Antonio Brown's still a good receiver, but he's not the receiver he was with Pittsburgh. His age and his time away from the game and the troubles that he's had, I think is taken away from his game. And I just don't think he's the same type of receiver that he was. Dalton said Ravens 37-17. Marcus said, and I agree, that was Nick Chubb, Marcus. I agree. It was also Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb and Hunt didn't run all over Pittsburgh when we played them, but okay. Marcus says Ravens 34-10. Dalton Smith says going to the Dolphins game 28-13 Dolphins. Yuri says Baltimore Ravens win. Yuri says New England has to win. Dalton says Medea Newton. Marcus says Miami defense has Cam running for his life 2017 Miami. Yuri says we're keeping our hopes alive. Marcus says Dolphins put Pats out of their misery. And I think that's what's going to happen too. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next game. We have the Detroit Lions in Tennessee facing Derrick Henry and company. So who you got, Dennis?
I'm going with Tennessee. They're gonna run all over Detroit. 42-28. They got a little bit of a chance, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay. Jay?
Derrick Henry continues to make the empty push at the MVP. Titans 34-13. Titans win this game.
Okay. And I think Tennessee wins this game too. But I think Detroit kind of trying to stack the middle with Derrick Henry. I don't think he's going to go off as far as yardage. I think he'll probably get about, I don't know, $125, $150. And that's pretty good for a running back. But usually with him, I would say, you know, depending on defenses and stuff like that, who they're playing, this guy could go for 200 yards at certain points. But I think Detroit win, or Tennessee Titans win 28-17, something like that. Maybe even more, 31-17. So, okay, moving to the next game. We have Houston in Indianapolis playing against those Colts.
I got the upset special going on right here. Houston wins this game. Phillip Rivers throws the game away. I'm taking the Houston to win this one 28-21. Houston.
Okay. Andre. And there's not going to be a shootout, Yuri, in Tennessee. I don't think. I think you're going to see Derrick Henry just running all over that field.
All right. I'm a little torn. Dennis wants the upset special. I want the Colts to produce. I want the Colts to produce and prove that they are a playoff-worthy team. I was looking at the injury report. I'm going to take the Colts in this. Looking at the injury report, there's injuries that make me sway. The Colts sway.
Well, yeah, because Cooks is out in this game.
Yes. We also understand that it is very difficult to sweep a divisional opponent. But the Colts have to keep their playoff push alive. I'm going to go with the Colts, and I'm going to say this is probably 24-17 or a 24-20 affair. Colts have one of the best defenses in the league.
I don't think Houston scores that much. I think they're going to be lucky to get it into the red zone against that defense, just to be honest. And you got to imagine, I know who we play the following week. We play that Indianapolis Colts defense. So, but I'm going to say this, and I was talking about this before the show. If you look, when we get to the levels, Marcus's favorite part of the show, you're going to see that our passing receivers, number 3 on that list, is none other than Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
With no talent on that team on offense for him. He's basically kept himself in the top 5 on his own, really. I mean, he's got some receivers catching the balls. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the passing yards he's amassed. But, you know, we talked about MVP candidates. And I know he's got a losing record. But you look at what that guy has done with this team of lackluster players, and he's still in the top 5 in passing. I just think that this guy, can you imagine this guy? Hell, I can imagine Deshaun coming to Pittsburgh when Ben retires. Woo! Can you imagine what that receiving core we got? If we could teach them to hold on to the ball. Yeah, little bit of a pain there for me to say. But
Ramona, are you lobbying for Deshaun Watson right now?
Kenny, you know what? I figure win, lose, or draw, Ben's days are numbered. I've seen him on the field. You know, he's not those quick, 2.2 second passes. It's because he's not wanting to get hit. Now, I think you are going to see an offensive line type draft for Pittsburgh this year. I really do. I wish our number 1 pick would be a running back, but I don't think that's going to happen either. We always get a running back in the draft, usually, 5th or 6th round, somewhere around there. Right now, Jameis Winston, Deshaun Watson, yes, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I ain't gonna lie. Duh. But, yeah, I think Indianapolis goes ahead and ends Houston. I think that the Colts defense and Phillip Rivers and his offense are moving the ball. Jonathan Taylor, I'd take him too in a heartbeat. Jonathan Taylor's going to have a hell of a game against Houston's defense. So I'm taking the Colts 34-16 Colts. So, all right. So moving on to the next game, we have the 49ers in Dallas. Before we go to there, I'm going to read some of these comments there real quick. Marcus's Miami defense has Cam running for his life, 2017 Miami. I think I read that one earlier. Dolphins are going to put Pats out of their misery. Derrick Henry may run for nearly 285 yards in the Titans game. Dalton has 38-10 Titans. Yuri picked the Titans. Marcus said Titans run all over Lions, 32-17. Henry will run for at least 2 bill. Yuri says shootout in Tennessee, but I don't think there's going to be a shootout in Tennessee. I think it may very well be, Matthew Stafford throwing the ball left and right, because they won't have their time to run the ball from behind. They got to throw the ball. Dalton says, will Henry ever break AP's rushing yard single game? Dalton has Colts winning 27-9. Marcus says Colts put Texans out of misery with no Cooks. Jonathan Taylor runs wild. I think Jonathan Taylor has a big game too. Marcus says 27-14 Colts. Most of those numbers were put up when Fuller was there. Yuri has Colts winning. And Marcus says he has to throw it because they're always behind. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we got the 49ers at Dallas. Andre, who you got?
Am I watching this on the Cartoon Network, Comedy Central? Lifetime television. I don't know who I want to pick in this one, man. I really don't. I don't know who I want to pick. I'm going to pick the 49ers. I don't think Andy Dalton can get it done against the 49ers.
All right, Dennis, who you got? Oh, all right, so he's muted himself. And
you know I got the 49ers. I ain't picking no Dallas Cowboys. I need them to finish at the bottom of the bottom. Let's go Niners.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what Marcus wants. Marcus wants them to finish bottom. I think they're at pick number 4 right now, in the draft. I have the 49ers winning. I don't think Dallas can stop the Niners running game. So I've got the Niners winning 28-16. I'll go 28-16 Niners. And Marcus says he hopes they lose every game. Dalton says Niners 23-14. Okay. So moving on to the next game. And Mostert has a great game, says Marcus Betts. All right. Next game up is Seattle at Washington. And I will start with you, Andre.
So this is very interesting. I'm hearing that Alex Smith will not be starting this game. If Alex Smith was starting, I probably would have went with Washington. Seattle, you've been let off the hook this week because I really still want to go with Washington. I want Washington or the Giants to win that division. I'm still, even with Dwayne Haskins, God, and we know what Russell can do, but this is one hell of a pass rush. I'm going to go with Washington. Spoiler alert, I'm going with Washington. 17-14, going with Washington.
I think that was a shot at me.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm not shooting at anybody. I just want Washington. No shots.
Everybody know I'm a big Dwayne Haskins fan.
As am I.
Had him in my MVP voting this week. I mean, when the year started, I fell off of that wagon. I don't believe in Washington. I got Seattle winning this game. I'm going with Seattle. Russell, last name Wilson.
Okay. Well, I know what that front seven in Washington can do, and it's in Washington. And you better believe you may not see a whole lot of fans in that stadium, but you're going to hear them out in that damn blowing them horns and everything else. And even with Haskins starting, I think that defense, Washington's defense, can score, and I think will score. And Seattle's defense is suspect at best. I'm taking Washington. I'm taking the Redskins 28-20. Redskins over Seattle. So, okay. Next game. We go to our 4 o'clock games, 4:05. And we have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm going to let you start with that one, Dennis.
Since my son is now playing, but those of y'all that don't know, my son is Jalen Hurts. Since my son is now playing, I got my Philadelphia Eagles winning, and we're going to win it good. This is the battle of 2 Oklahoma quarterbacks, so this should be a real good game. I'm going to be excited to see this one because I actually want to see how he's going to do in his second start. Did pretty good in his first start. I want to see how he do in the second start. But as you know, I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning this.
Okay. Hey, Marcus says, "Oh, he's your son now."
He been my son since draft day. Here you go. He been my son since draft day. Here you go with your stuff, man. You better make sure you tune in to Talk Yours Tuesday.
The Eagles, huh? Yeah, the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The
All
Eagles.
right. Marcus says, "Nah, he wasn't. You said that Jalen Hurts wouldn't get on the field this season."
Come on with because he was saying he gonna get on the field because Carson Wentz was gonna get injured. See, he didn't say his whole stipulation. The crazy thing is, never mind, I can't say that. Never mind. I'm gonna let that go ahead.
All right, Andre, what you got for this game?
Well, all the birds been birds this season. I'm gonna be honest with you. All the birds have had some bird like seasons, except for maybe the Ravens, who's trying to redeem themselves
Bird flu. They've had bird
from
flu.
that bird flu, that all the teams have had. I'll be very honest with you. Cardinals need a playoff spot. Kyler Murray's been playing pretty good, for the most part, until after Hail Murray. Then they didn't win a game until last week with the Giants. They impressively beat the Giants up. Jalen Hurts had a good first start. But a song comes to mind when I think about this game, and it goes like this. Dennis was just eating and stuffing his face, and we all know what happens when you eat. You get the itis. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. Philadelphia. I'm taking the Cardinals. Cardinals win this one. 27-21. It was all a dream.
Okay.
We never said nothing about him getting benched. Marcus Betts. And I didn't say that it was all a dream. It never said nothing about him getting benched. And I see you saying it was all a dream, but I know my coach Doug Peterson. I believe in my coach more than I believe in what y'all say. Dougie P, do your thing, baby.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I'm actually taking the Eagles in an upset. Because I believe in Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows I believe in Jalen Hurts. I believe in your son, Dennis Holmes. I sure do.
Thank you.
Well, you know what, Ramona? I'm so glad that y'all believe in Jalen Hurts. I mean, y'all got a reason. You guys talk about Dougie P, believing in Dougie P more than you believe in what people say, and that's fine and dandy. I mean, when you look at the stats, I mean, Doug Peterson is 11-2 without Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback. I don't know if it's that.
I do have reasons why I believe in Jalen Hurts. I do believe in Jalen Hurts. I believe Jalen Hurts was ready to take over at the beginning of the season. And if they had benched Carson Wentz, I think they would have won more games than what they've won. Granted, I know Philly has had the same injury bugs that's hit a lot of teams throughout the year. But here's why I think the Eagles win. The Eagles defense will get to Kyler Murray. I truly believe that. I think this is going to be a defensive game on the Eagles side, and we know Arizona's defense is suspect. We know that. And when Buffalo played Arizona, Buffalo's defense was not playing well. They were not firing on all cylinders. Plus, they had injuries. Now Buffalo's healthy. If the Buffalo's team now had played Arizona, it wouldn't have came down to that Hail Murray win to beat the Bills. it wouldn't have been that close. That's my opinion. I think the further along, the Bills defense has stepped it up and playing much better than what they were earlier on. Eagles defense, I think, can put enough pressure on him, and I think Jalen Hurts can I think Jalen Hurts can go outscore him. So
talk to him, and I got a feeling Miles Sanders is gonna run through him too, because that defense ain't that good.
Their defense does not stop the run very well. How many yards rushing did the Bills get against Arizona's defense? Do you remember?
Dre would know.
Yeah, they actually had a decent game running the football. It was decent. But here's what I will say. We're going to sit here and pretend like we didn't just watch a guy who can run 20-plus miles per hour get sacked 6 times last week. Forced fumbles left and right last week by the Arizona Cardinals defense. We're gonna sit here and play like we don't know that. We're gonna play like D-Hop and them can't get off.
I ain't never say D-Hop wasn't gonna get his. He gonna get his. No.
I ain't say you did, but I'm saying we gonna play like D-Hop can't get his. We gonna play like Christian.
But you also got to put into
Drake can't run the ball.
You also got to put into the fact that Daniel Jones was still injured, and
okay. Well, if he was injured, he should have sat his behind on the bench.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next game, and we have the New York Jets against the Rams. We have the New York Jets in LA against the Rams, and I think the Rams, and I think Aaron Donald has an absolute heyday in this game. We know the Jets' offensive line is not that great, and I think that what's his name? The quarterback, Jets quarterback.
I thought it was Sam Darnold, but I don't know if he's playing.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if Darnold was playing or whoever's playing. They're going to be running for their lives in that backfield.
I can't believe that they gave them 35% of a chance to win this game.
Me either. I think the Rams win this game 31-6.
Yeah, this should be a blowout.
Yeah.
This should be a blowout. This is one of them games I would usually say ain't nobody care, but I'm on the Alphabet show, so I got to explain why ain't nobody really care. I don't think that the Jets have anything to do to even help them beat the Rams. Jared Goff will have to lose this game for the Jets to win it. He will literally have to throw enough interceptions, pick sixes, for the Jets to win this game, which is possible. So I'm not going to say nothing bad. I'm just going to take the Rams, and it should be a blowout. As Marcus said, the blowout of the week. I'm going to take the Rams in this one.
All right, so, Andre, who you got?
Rams. I like the Rams. Shout out to Eric Manzup.
Okay. Yep. So we have our Sunday game, 4:25 p.m. Eastern, and we have the Kansas City Chiefs. This, to me, is the game of the week. Chiefs versus the Saints in New Orleans.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get this straight. So the Jets got a 35% chance to beat the Rams, but the Saints only got a 32% chance to beat Kansas City? Who was keeping this? Who was doing this around here?
I think because Michael Thomas is out and Drew Brees is back, and
I'm going with my cousin Dalton. I'm taking the same score he put up there. 30-28 Saints. Nola in the building.
All right, Andre, you're up.
I think it's time to separate the two. I think the Saints lose this game. How healthy really is Drew Brees? We're gonna find that out. We're gonna find out how healthy Drew Brees really is this week coming up. First and foremost. Secondly, what's going on? Secondly, we're gonna see what he do without Michael Thomas this week too. Without his blanket receiver, we're gonna see what he can do. The Chiefs, remember Patrick Mahomes has never been blown out in a football game. Never. Never. His largest margin of defeat was 8 points, and that was this year against the Raiders. Never has he been blown out. I don't see it happening now. I think if the Saints win this game, they're gonna have to blow the Chiefs out. They're gonna have to really put the brakes on the Chiefs. I don't see it happening. I'm going with my cousin Ricky Bobby, and them Chiefs. And I love you to death, Monday Night Messiah, but I got the Chiefs this week.
I think if Michael Thomas was there, and if Drew Brees started out sluggish, that they would take him and put him on the bench. But that Michael Thomas is not there. I don't think it'll be a blowout because I think the Saints defense is better than that. But I think it's going to be 34-28 Kansas City. No, I'm not even going to give Kansas City that much. I'm going to say 28-24 because I do think the Saints defense can actually put some damage out there. So, but I like I said, if Michael Thomas was in this game, I would give the Saints a little bit better, more of a shot of winning this game. But he's not. So, there you go. That's my pick. All right, so next game, we have the Sunday night game, 8:20 p.m. We have the Cleveland Browns at the New York Giants. And I am so sorry, Ricky Williams. Shout out to you, dude. But
it's over.
Cleveland is going to be out for blood after losing that game against the Baltimore Ravens. Or they could revert back to the old Cleveland Browns that we all know and love. And nothing go right. I mean, it could happen. It could happen, you know. Just saying. But I'm going to take Cleveland. I think Cleveland wins this game.
No.
34 18. 34 18. So you got, Andre?
I'll take the Ramona die pick. There you go.
I'm gonna say this because we was talking about this on the Buck Flair show. This is Colt McCoy going against his old team, the Cleveland Browns. There may be something special there, may not. I'm taking Cleveland to win this game. I just feel as though they're gonna run the ball up and down the field on them. That's how I feel. But I would like to see how Colt McCoy responds to this one.
I'm gonna read some comments real quick. E22 said all the birds have been owls. Who, LOL. Except for Monday nights, the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Marcus says let's see. Marcus says blowout of the week. Dalton says Rams 59-0. Marcus says Cam Akers runs wild. Marcus says Rams impose their will 45-9. Dalton says Saints 30-28. Marcus says to be the man, you got to beat the man. He says Pat Mahomes throws for 400 yards. Kelsey extends his yardage lead, and Hill puts on a show. Tyreek Hill on turf. Look out. The biggest thing about the being on turf again with Tyreek Hill, Marcus, if you talk to any players who start out their careers on turf and then go to dirt fields, and then go from dirt fields back to turf, they tend to not play as well. So he may not have the game you think. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Marcus says another blowout. Angry Browns beat up the Giants. Chubb and Hunt run ball down Giants' throat. Myles Garrett has 3 sacks. Dalton says if Cody Parkey missed field goal attempt or extra points, maybe Browns will put Hunt as their kicker. Marcus says Browns 32-21. So, all right. Did you pick? Oh, everybody picked on Browns, right?
Okay. We all moved the Browns.
Okay, so Monday night game, Snorefest. I know it's my team, and I love my team.
They got a 36% chance to win. What in the heck?
Because, Pittsburgh's receivers have to learn to catch the ball. They have to catch it before they try to run it down the field.
Really?
Do I sound a little sour?
No, you sound like a fan. That's what you sound like. You sound like a fan that is pissed off that the receivers ain't doing what they're supposed to do. I just want to know why they weren't dropping passes like this when y'all played my Eagles. I want to know.
You know what? Honest to God, I really think it's got to do with what has happened throughout this season and the way the NFL has dealt with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I swear, I think the guys are just trying too damn hard. I think they've walked away from the fundamental game of football, and they're trying too hard to prove that they're better than what everybody says they are.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's what it is. I think that, and I would rather see this happening now than in the playoffs.
Well, it'll be, to be very honest, it'll be for the same reason why 2 of the shortest hands in football are going to do the same thing this week.
Be what? I'm sorry?
2 of the shortest hands in football.
Oh, yeah. Larry Fitzgerald, shortest hands in football. D-Hop, shortest hands in football. Or did you forget?
So you think that they're gonna win? I forgot. Oh, I forgot.
But I do think Pittsburgh wins this game. I'm gonna say Pittsburgh wins this game. How many times did you score in James Washington? 21, 28. So I'm gonna say like 28 to 10. 38 to 10. 28. No.
Hey.
28 to 10. I'm gonna go 28 to 10 because I don't know. I'm just until that offense proves something to me.
Hey, Ramona.
Got y'all 35 to 10. I think I agree with that.
Who?
Marcus got you have a guys 35 to 10. He said, angry Steelers get back on the winning ways. No Mixon, no Burrows. Chase Claypool has 2 touchdowns. Steelers win 35 to 10. Last cakewalk of the season. Dalton got y'all 20 to 6 Steelers. Devon said Odell Beckham Jr., Cole Beasley, Julio Jones. Hands are crazy too. Okay.
All right, so who you got?
Ramona?
Yes, darling.
I would love to make the Alphabets football show a little bit more spicy.
Uh-oh.
Just a little bit.
Are you getting ready to piss me off?
Yes.
Say it.
You get ready to
Yes,
piss me
what?
off?
He just put gasoline down, so here comes the fire.
Oh, no. See, this was for you, Dennis, actually. This wasn't towards Ramona.
I knew it was for me. I knew that already.
Oh, you knew it was coming? Oh,
All right, so go ahead.
I'm glad. Let's go, Raven. I'm glad you got Raven touched with those Eagles. So you know that I'm about to challenge you to a nice little wager about these Cardinals Eagles, right?
Cardinals Eagles wager? What's the wager, man?
$20.
$20.
Oh, wait. We at the Alphabets Football Show do not sponsor gambling online on network shows.
You know what, Ramona? That's right. We do not gamble. How about this? since we cannot officially gamble any money, how about we make it just a little bit different? Let me think. What is? I'm gonna come up with a stipulation for the show's over. I'm thinking of something.
Wait. Hold on. Do I need to do? Hold on. Let me do your co-host.
I'll think of something for the show's over.
Everybody guys kind of remind me of Mike Tomlin. Y'all haven't picked on this game yet, so
we picked the Steelers. Ain't nobody else to pick. I told you I wanted to say ain't nobody care, but I'm on the alphabet show.
It's Pittsburgh.
Okay, all right. So we are going to Marcus's favorite part of the show. That there are levels to this. And we're going to start off with this one. And I'm going to fix it where I can see it. Isn't it kind of funny? The guy leading in passing yards is not even a wide receiver, but a tight end. Travis Kelce, 1,250 yards receiving. DK Metcalf is number 2 with 1,180 yards receiving.
Yeah, and all that. This is why I say you don't listen to the draft day lies. All that they said about DK Metcalf, his injury is suspect. He can't run routes. He's on steroids. Look at him now.
Marcus Betts says best tight end in the game. Argument over. That's towards me.
Who you think the best tight end in the game is?
Well, he's not playing right now, so.
Are you talking about George Kittle?
Yeah, he's out injured, so.
George, the guy that's been through what?
And here's the thing about Kittle. Kittle does not have that offense, and he doesn't have that quarterback throwing the ball to him. He's got Garoppolo and company.
He wasn't blessed with Andy Reid his whole career.
Could you imagine Kittle on that team? Because I think Kittle's tougher. I think once he catches the ball, he's harder to bring down than what Kelce is, in my opinion. It takes more than just one guy to tackle him. But that's just my opinion. Anyway. Yeah. But, all right, so our next levels will be Devontae Adams. Now, we can talk about who the best receiver is in the league. But I'm going to tell you something. Yards don't always tell you who the best receiver is. Devontae Adams, 118 targets and not the first drop in the NFL.
Right. He got no drops.
Is that not absolutely amazing? I just think it's amazing. And like I said, I give it to Kelce earlier. I was reading some of these comments. You know, Mookie's like Kelce, period. But like I said, you put Kittle on that offense of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think you.
Marcus Betts said if you put Barry Sanders behind Emmitt Smith O-line,
oh yeah,
could you imagine that?
Yeah, can you imagine? Or put him behind that offensive line that the Steelers have had throughout the years. So, you know.
What's up, Ron Thomas?
Hey, Ron, what's up? All right,
Marcus said your best ability is availability.
I know.
And Mookie Betts said Kelce, period. What up, Mookie Betts?
Yeah, I know. I heard Mookie. I read it a minute ago. Okay, so who's your NFL MVP? And it doesn't have to be one of these guys on the list, but to me, my guy is on the list. We've got Aaron Rodgers with 41
total touchdowns.
Total touchdowns to Patrick Mahomes, 35 total touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 4 interceptions to Patrick Mahomes, 5. 3 of those against the Miami Dolphins defense. Okay, just saying. We've got 3,779 total yards passing for Aaron Rodgers, 4,458 total yards for Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers got a 70% completion rate. I'll get it out in a minute. to Patrick Mahomes' 68% completion rate. So, who you guys got?
It should be Mahomes. It should be Mahomes. I've heard him on Fresh Perspective. Shout out to Fresh Perspective. I've heard Courtney, giving Mahomes the blues on his career, and he was basically saying that. I mean, not Mahomes giving Rodgers the blues on his career, basically saying that Aaron Rodgers is this great and only won one Super Bowl, and he said if Tom Brady somehow gets it done this year and wins the Super Bowl, he doesn't have the same respect that he had for Aaron Rodgers.
All right, so here's my question.
Don't quote me on exact words, but that was like kind of it. Don't quote me on exact words though.
You put an Aaron Rodgers on with the weapons that Patrick Mahomes has got. I don't even think there's even a comparison at that point. Aaron Rodgers does not have the talent on offense that Patrick Mahomes does. Is that not a fact?
No.
So, I'm sorry. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
Can I listen? The minute I heard that, I told Devon, set it up for me. Set it up for me. That's all I want. Courtney is my bro. Listen, Courtney is a phenomenal guy. let me put that out there right off the jump. But Courtney, let's set it up in that anytime, anywhere, any place.
I've been waiting to get on the show with Fresh Perspective myself. Be honest with you.
First and foremost, let's be clear. You take Aaron Rodgers off the Packers probably wouldn't win 5 games. You take Mahomes off the Chiefs probably are still a playoff seed, a 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs due to all the weapons they have on that team. Secondly, I need folks to stop doing this. Make it make sense for me. Like, you guys got to stop taking part of the pie and not the whole pie. I hear people say all the time, coaching matters. Then I hear people say, well, Mike McCarthy wasn't a great coach. And then we throw in Andy Reid. Sir, do you know what Aaron Rodgers would do with an Andy Reid-led team, sir, with weapons as such? Mm-hmm. This is the reason why Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have both been quoted saying that if Aaron Rodgers ever played with the Patriots, he'd have way more than 1 ring, and he would throw for almost 6,000-7,000 yards a season. Sir, Aaron Rodgers is 36. You guys had him at a decline. Remember, I heard all the talk. Aaron Rodgers will be at a decline this year. Aaron Rodgers is the only NFL quarterback in history.
You heard that from Rashawn Jackson. He hates Aaron Rodgers.
No, yeah, I heard this a lot from a couple people besides him too. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to have a 9 touchdown, 1 interception ratio. Do you know another? When coaching and defense matters, it matters. Okay? Stop the madness. It is Aaron Rodgers. Period.
And I agree with you. I agree. I'm on the Aaron Rodgers.
Now, I'm the only one that said this. With Kansas City paying Patrick Mahomes like they did, I don't think that they're going to win another Super Bowl, and he's going to end up like Aaron Rodgers with just 1. I am the one that said that on the record. I've said that.
Also, Aaron not winning another.
Well, right now he only got 1. I ain't guaranteeing that. I wouldn't bet on it. Put it like that.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, that sounds a little better. I can respect that.
All right. Well, I don't have anybody commenting on this MVP.
I guess.
Thing.
They know that. Listen. I can take this.
He said, "Put Megatron with A-Rod."
My guy has played.
Marcus said, A-Rod, Mahomes, Allen, Henry.
A-Rod had some number 1 wide receivers. A-Rod had a couple number 1 wide receivers.
Can I tell y'all something real quick? Can I tell you something real quick, Ramona?
Yes, sir.
Do you know, for wide receivers who have played with Aaron Rodgers the first 10, I think it's the first 10 or 11 games. No, maybe it's the first 2 seasons. It is the first 2 seasons. Do you know that MVS, the dropster, I call him the dropster. Do you know that MVS has more yards than Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver in the first 20 games that he's played with Aaron Rodgers? And he only has 95 catches out of 185 targets. Please make it make sense to me again. If Aaron Rodgers was to have Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, what Aaron Rodgers would do.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He do forget that he had Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. I mean, at one point he had Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, and James Jones. Now James Jones may not at that time been, but he was way better than a lot of other people wide receivers. And that wide receiver core, they used to go. And the crazy thing about it is, Marcus Betts, as we talk about it, they used to go 4 wide receivers. They ain't even have a tight end. They used to go 4 wide receivers, and they may have thought about running the ball if they wanted to. But they was always in a 4 wide receiver set. Mm-hmm. Always. It was dangerous at that time.
All right, so we're going to move on and talk about our top 5 passing leaders right here.
Oh, he was number 2. You said he was number 3.
Number 2. And I was wrong. So, he was number 2. And I apologize.
Dre, don't forget it. Hold on. Tell Marcus Betts, how can I forget about Randall Cobb when you did nothing with Randall Cobb? How can I forget about Jordy Nelson when Jordy Nelson left and ended up retiring with the Raiders?
But we all wait a minute. Another known fact. I'm sorry about this, Ramona. Another known fact about Green Bay wide receivers: when they leave Green Bay, they don't do nothing after they leave Green Bay.
Oh, you know what?
And thank you.
The same can be said about a lot of receivers who left Pittsburgh.
Well, not Plexico.
Yeah, because again,
what did Plexico do when he left Pittsburgh?
He won a Super Bowl.
He shot himself in the leg. No, he didn't.
He won a Super Bowl when he left. He won one with the Giants.
I don't think he was. No, he wasn't with the Giants.
Yes, he was. He scored a touchdown.
All right, I'm going to look.
Right after Randy Moss.
I'm going to look.
Yeah. Let's go 1-1 with the Giants. But I think more of the point is that Ben Roethlisberger makes wide receivers just like Aaron Rodgers does, just like Drew Brees has.
That was my point.
They make wide receivers. Yeah, they make wide receivers.
Plexico was there before Big Ben.
I haven't forgot about him in their primes either, Marcus. I don't care how many exclamation points you put on it.
Plexico was there before Big Ben. Plexico was there before Big Ben. Plexico was there with Tommy Maddox and Cordell Stewart.
Jordy Nelson is my favorite wide receiver for the Packers. Yeah, okay. Got to make it make sense, sir. You just worry about CD Lamb, okay? Worry about CD Lamb and Amari.
They got a new name for the boy. What they call him, Mike McFaddy? That's what you got to worry about.
Mike McFaddy. Yeah.
Hey, I know Plexico was there. I know Plexico was before Big Ben.
From 2000 to 2004, you're right. He was there for Ben's first year. And then they got rid of him in 2004. Mm-hmm. He was the one who dropped the pass in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots inside the end zone.
Yep.
Yeah. And they let him go at that point. So.
And then he had Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
Santonio Holmes.
That's my cousin. Santonio. That's my cousin.
Hines Ward.
No relation.
Antoine Randall. Who was the other guy that they had? Martavius Bryant. They had a couple of them.
Yeah, they've had some. He's had some really good receivers throughout his career.
That's where they develop wide receivers over there. That's why.
All right, so our passing leaders is Patrick Mahomes, number 1, Deshaun Watson, number 2, Russell Wilson, number 3, Aaron Rodgers, 4, and Matt Ryan, 5, and number 6, I believe, would have been Josh Allen. here's my
technically Aaron Rodgers is tied third with Russell Wilson.
Here's my point though. You look at the yards that they've thrown. You look at the teams that they have around them to throw the ball to and the receivers to throw the ball to. Mm-hmm. There's one who stands out on this list who doesn't have all those weapons.
Sure don't.
And he's number 2 on the list.
Because he had a stupid coach who was named also GM and coach, wore 2 hats, so he didn't have nothing to help him develop. When he did have his star wide receiver, that stupid coach GM traded him.
Yep.
It's sad.
Well, okay. So I get it that we always crack on the Houston Texans coach, but let's be clear. The Houston Texans coach is the same coach who went to 4 playoff appearances out of 6 years with the quarterbacks named Brock Osweiler, TJ Yates, Brandon Whedon. Oh, he had another one. Who was the other one? Why am I forgetting his name right now? Terrible quarterback. Matt Schaub. Yes, Matt Schaub. Terrible quarterbacks. And then Deshaun Watson. He went to playoffs with Deshaun Watson. The only knock that I have on that Houston Texans coach is the stupid move that he traded D-Hop for peanuts.
Yeah.
And a running back who is
a broken down running back.
Bill O'Brien absolutely fooled himself by thinking he was a GM when he should have just stayed. He should have just stayed in his coaching position. That's where he fooled himself, took too many responsibilities, and that's where the Texans died. And that's why Deshaun Watson has nothing right now. But he's still doing it with nothing. I give Deshaun Watson a lot of props. A lot of props.
Top 5 receiving leaders right here. And our number 1 receiver.
We didn't say, Will LeBumbar, we didn't say he didn't have receivers. We said he did not have the receiving core or the offensive weapons that everybody else has. That's what we said.
Yeah, we didn't say he didn't have any wide receivers. We just said he doesn't have the offense that these other guys do, and he's number 2 on the league in passing. Travis Kelce, top of our list on receiving leaders, and he's not even a wide receiver. He's the only non-wide receiver on this list.
Right. And then the crazy thing is at number 4 is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. On the same team.
And they're about 100 yards away from each other. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All right. Our top 5 rushing leaders are as follows: Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, James Robinson, who is a rookie this year, Ronald Jones, and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, they actually cut Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
For undrafted free agent rookie James Robinson. That's just to show you that the Jaguars are looking like they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking like it. Shout out to Ada Cruz. They're looking like they're moving in the right direction.
And let's talk about Nick Chubb being number 5 on this list after missing 5 games so far this year.
Yeah, Nick Chubb is a beast.
I want to mention something right now. I'm putting this out there.
Okay.
Nick Chubb is the best runner in football.
He's the best runner in football?
Absolutely. He is the best. He is the best pure runner in football. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna give you a couple synopses. Number 1, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Nick Chubb was as big as Derrick Henry?
But he's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, no. My question is, can you imagine if Nick Chubb was as big as Derrick Henry with the elusiveness that Nick Chubb has and his running ability, his running style? Nick Chubb has a starting running back behind him, and he still almost has 1,000 yards, and he missed 5 games this year. If you give him those 5 games, I guarantee you his numbers is the same as Derrick Henry's, if not better.
I'll put
it to you like this:
between Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook, and the reason why is because of the teams that are in his division defensively are not allowing Nick Chubb the yards that you are assuming he would be getting in some of those games.
Right. Let me ask you this question: how many yards did it take Derrick Henry last year to get in the last game of the season to outdo Nick Chubb last year?
I think it was like a buck something.
Not sure.
He almost needed 200 yards to outdo him in the last game of the season. And
right.
I get it that my opinion is not the unpopular opinion. It's not.
No, I understand your opinion.
It's phenomenal. I'm not taking away nothing from Derrick Henry. I'm not taking nothing away from Dalvin Cook. But here's what I will tell you. Since we don't do hypotheticals.
Right.
Good God Almighty. Listen, I love when people say we don't do hypotheticals, but here's the serious point. If you give Nick Chubb the same amount of carries in the workload that Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook gets, you're not telling me that Nick Chubb doesn't have more yards than these dudes. I'm not hearing it. He has a running back behind him, and he still produces crazy. This is not like there's no hypothetical in that.
Well, I mean, he's number one. He is the number one running back on that team. Now, Kareem Hunt would be.
I don't want to read them comments.
Kareem Hunt would be number one on anybody else's team. So basically, they have 2 number ones, but Chubb gets the majority of the carries over Hunt.
Here's my thing about the whole running back situation. I love Derrick Henry and I love everything Derrick Henry does. But you know one thing when you're playing against the Titans, how you gonna beat the Titans? You have to stop Derrick Henry. And for this man to go off for 140, 125, or what he had, 170, almost 200.
Only 78 against Pittsburgh defense.
Right, almost 200. He only had 60 against the Browns. And I said he wasn't going to get more than 80. He only had 60 against the Browns. But for this man to go off like he does, and all you have to do is stop the run, load the box up, and he still gets his, that's a dangerous guy right there, Derrick Henry.
I'm going to read some of these comments.
Yeah.
Marcus Betts says Bill O'Brien should never be allowed in the league again. He did a Chip Kelly on Texans. Will says, don't say you don't have wide receivers. Okay. Most of the damage Watson did was when Fuller was there. Best tight end in the league, hands down, talking about Kelsey, of course. That's when I was talking about the receiving leaders. Marcus Betts says best pure runner is Henry. We do not do hypotheticals. That's where you got that from, Andre. Willem Bombard says Henry, Cook are the best pure runners. Marcus Betts says, can we imagine if can we imagine if Allen Iverson was as big as Shaq? LOL. Come on now.
Hypothetically, wait a minute. Hypothetically, if the Dallas Cowboys didn't have the same injuries, they'd be a better team too, right? But we don't do hypotheticals. Okay. I'm just make it make sense for me.
Marcus Betts says Nick Chubb would break down. He has shoddy knees. Willem Bombard says Aaron Jones is a better pure runner when healthy. Marcus Betts says Derrick Henry is a unicorn, a 6'4", 260-pound tank who punishes people. He beats them into a submission, and he's fast. And he had a 99-yard run. So,
and I said this before. The way he stiff on people, he gonna need Tommy John surgery. I'm trying to tell you, the way he be stiff on people is crazy.
Right.
But I love Nick Chubb. Let me get this out the way. I love Nick Chubb. I love Dalvin Cook because that guy is special. That guy Dalvin Cook is special.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. James Robinson, an undrafted
free agent rookie.
well, undrafted rookie, who Jacksonville is probably grooming for somebody else because he probably won't stay in Jacksonville for long. We know how that works. And he's more welcome to come to Pittsburgh. Just saying. But I just think that we're not giving this rookie enough credit, considering he is in between some of the elite running backs of this league right now as a rookie.
And you know something, another one, Ronald Jones.
Oh yeah.
I doubted Ronald Jones this season. I thought he was going to be the weakest link. I doubted Ronald Jones this season. I'm gonna have to admit, I doubted him. That's what I'm saying. I really
is injury prone too. So
yeah, I understand that Cook is injury prone, but I can't go on what he used to do. I'm going on what's going on this year.
Okay,
that's how I feel about it.
So now we're going to go to the winningest NFL teams in history, and of course, you know, Chicago Browns have been here for a long while. So Chicago Bears, Packers, Giants, Steelers, Redskins, Eagles, Rams, Lions, Cards, and the Niners. So
these are, let everybody know, these are all the teams that started in the beginning since about, I want to say 1933. Is that when the league started? When does the league start?
They were for the Steelers. The Bears, Packers, and Giants were there in there long before the Steelers were, I believe.
I know the Eagles started in 1933.
Oh, did the Eagles start in 33? Because I know the Steelers did.
Dalvin Cook got injured this year. He missed the game. I might have to say I didn't know that. He sure didn't miss that Green Bay game. He went off.
Okay, so now I want y'all's opinion on this. Colin Cowherd, I like calling him Cowherd, but anyway, says Tua is not going to work in the NFL.
I personally believe Tua is going to work in the NFL. I think this offseason you're going to see a better player. He always start off shaky, but once he get into his rhythm, as you've seen in Alabama, he started off shaky, and there was a point in the game that Nick Saban was going to take him back out in that championship game and put Jalen Hurts back in.
Yep.
Until he made the pump fake move and threw the, and what was that? He threw the bomb down on threw the bomb on was that Clemson? Yeah, no, Georgia. On Georgia. It was on Georgia.
Yeah, Bulldog. It was the Bulldog.
Yeah, it was on Georgia. Threw the bomb on Georgia. So like I said, he always starts off slow. He's not
he's second half quarterback. He's a second half quarterback.
Right. So like I said, I see him next season coming back better and stronger and possibly being in the MVP race.
Yep. No, we'll see. Like I said, I think Minnesota's a young team and they're building this team up. They're building this team up around him. And I think within 2-3 years, this team is going to be hard to beat in this division. And they're doing it right. They're building this team basically around Tua, in my opinion. So, let me read some of these comments.
Ramona.
Yes, darling.
Ramona. Listen, Colin Cowherd makes a few good comments, but for the most part, Colin Cowherd has made some ridiculous takes.
Oh, I know.
For the fact that Dennis Holmes did not mention, Dennis Holmes should be offended right now. This is the same guy who in 2017 said that the Philadelphia Eagles organization was the dumbest sport. That Philadelphia was the dumbest sports city in America, first and foremost. He's the same guy who said trading Kristaps Porzingis was the best move that the Knicks could have made in years, in a decade. He's the same guy who said Dak Prescott was a backup tight end in the NFL in 2014, if we remember. He's the same guy He's the same guy who said that Jim Harbaugh is more impressive than Nick Saban. Are we going to sit here and really take this guy serious? We really taking this guy serious? The same guy who said the best player in the MLB was irrelevant? Please.
To be honest with you, Dre, that's the downfall of being on TV every day. You're gonna say more.
Bill, we're not even gonna go there, dude. You can't you cannot have the damn injuries that the Steelers have had in the second.
Like he's the type of guy he needs to be on TV once a week.
It's a joke. I'll say it the way he says
not even touching him.
It's funny. Listen, it's funny and he's wrong. And that's how Colin talks.
We're gonna move.
That is how he talks.
We're running out of time, so I'm gonna get these Rocky Flyer and Tough Guy award out. Of course, we have Stephon Diggs. Hit his 100, over 100 receptions now. But we're going to go with Diggs, and of course, we're going to go with Lamar Jackson and his play from Monday night. And
the toilet tissue that he left in the bathroom because he ain't wiped his butt.
I am not saying that. Okay.
Hey, Ramona, what happened to Fun Facts?
And he will never. Well, it's after this.
Oh, okay, great.
All right. So then we have this guy right here, Chase Young.
The Predator.
Phenomenal guy.
Yes.
The Predator.
Phenomenal job this year. So.
The Predator. I think he's taking it out on everybody.
So here's some fun facts for you, or well, at least one. A lot has changed since the Cleveland Browns has had a winning record. The last time they had a winning record was 2007. And basically we had between 2007 and now, since the last time the Browns had a winning record.
Wow.
The first iPhone came out.
Wow.
The movie Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows was released. Peyton Manning won his first Super Bowl. And LeBron James played in his first NBA Finals. So that's all I've been since the Cleveland Browns have had a winning record. So
the first cell phone. First iPhone. iPhone. We on iPhone.
What do you got?
iPhone 12 now.
So what do you got for us, Andre?
Hey, first and foremost, Josh Allen is 5-0 this season versus teams currently ranked in the top 10 in pass defense, first and foremost. Also, the Colts have more pick sixes in 4 than the Texans have interceptions for the whole season, which is 3. Joe Montana, here's an interesting one. Joe Montana led the league with a 61.3 completion percentage in 1985. Do you know that completion percentage would be 33rd in the league right now? 33rd in the league right now. I already gave you one about Doug Peterson being 11-2 without Carson Wentz being the starter earlier. Aaron Rodgers has more touchdown passes than J.K. Scott has punts this season. Also, for the Steelers, this is the Steelers' second loss when leading by 14 points at any point during, including playoff games, since drafting Ben Roethlisberger in 2004. Do you know that they had been 109 1-1 before that situation that happened against Washington? 109 1-1 for Big Ben. That's a lot of games being up 14 points or better. A lot of games. Also, speaking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, do you know that was Washington's first win against the Pittsburgh Steelers since 1981?
Yeah, that was a fun fact from last week that we had.
Interesting.
I did want to say this. I had an honorable mention for the Rocky Blyer Award. I wanted to give it to Camden's own Hassan Reddick for his 5-sack performance on Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. Shout out to Camden and Hassan Reddick because he's Temple tough. Gotta shout out my Temple Tough guys.
Respect it.
So great fun facts to it, guys.
Coming for Jalen Hurts this week.
Ain't gonna do it.
So any last words from you guys? I mean,
I want to thank you for allowing me to be on the show. It's always fun to be on the show with you, Ramona. Shout out to Marcus Betts for giving us the platform and opportunity to be on the show.
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out to Marcus Betts for giving me a chance to be on the show. And I will be back next week because next week is Eagles versus Dallas week. So that's what I think is one of the biggest rivalry in all NFL. So that's what I'll be back for that. Again, thank y'all for having me on the show. This is the Alphabet Sports Show. Ramona, I'll let you finish it out.
I just want to thank you guys for coming on and filling in for Marcus. We missed you, Marcus. He's been in the comments throughout the whole show, but we definitely missed you, and we can't wait till next week. I'm assuming I haven't got with Marcus, so I'm assuming we're gonna have our show Friday night, even though it's Christmas. I don't know, so we'll have to wait and see. I'll have to get with Marcus and find out. But I will just keep an eye out, and I will make a post about it, whether or not we're going to have a show on Friday night or not. I mean, the games are still going to be going on, so.
One more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing. Triple G won today in the 7th round. He beat Khalil, so great fight for Triple G. He's still a champ. That's boxing right there. For anybody that don't know, he won the 7th round. Triple G. Golovkin, I think is his last name. Golovkin. Yeah. So great fight for him. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. You got anything?
And Donovan Samuels, your team need they butt whipped. The Raiders. Y'all need to be whipped. Y'all need a butt spanking.
Donovan hasn't been on the show in a while, so I haven't seen you even in comments for a while. So.
Oh, he's Maurice now. He's Maurice Samuels.
Okay.
Big Reese.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in for the show, and I'll let you know if we're gonna have a show on Friday next week. So just tune in and keep an eye out on the Rise Up Family group. Tune into our other shows. We have the Sunday early morning Bill show and the trivia show, and we have the Talk Your This Tuesday, and getting ready to have a whole bunch of new shows coming up in February or March.
Yeah. We'll Rise Up is rising up.
Yep, just tune in to Rise Up. We're continuing to grow. So, but thank you all for tuning in, and we love you, and good night. And if we don't get to have a show on Friday, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And surely we'll see you before the New Year anyway.